We are talking 203Ks.
Okay, picture this. It's Saturday morning. You're driving through that neighborhood. You know the one.
Yeah.
The one you actually want to live in.
Right. With the big trees, the cool coffee shop on the corner, the perfect vibe.
Perfect vibe. But every time you see a for sale sign, you just get that pit in your stomach. You know it's coming.
Oh, yeah. Bidding wars, all cash offers, way over asking, people waiving inspections. It's a nightmare.
Exactly. Or the price is just so high you'd be eating ramen for, like, the next 30 years.
Yeah.
But then you see it. The weird one.
The ugly duckling.
Yeah. The one with the knee-high grass, the peeling paint, maybe a roof that looks like you got in a fight with a hailstorm.
I'm lost. Badly.
Right. And your first instinct is just, nope, keep driving. You're thinking, I can't afford the down payment and another $100,000 in cash to fix that disaster.
But that instinct, it's wrong.
And that's what we're talking about today. What if there was a government-backed sort of cheat code that lets you buy that house and all the money to fix it?
Yeah.
All in one single mortgage.
It sounds a little like a late-night infomercial, doesn't it? But it's real. It's one of the oldest and, frankly, most powerful tools out there. We are unpacking the FHA 203K loan.
And we are not just skimming the surface today. We're doing a deep dive into what our sources call the 203K Playbook. We're going to break down the huge updates that just hit the program for 2025, which are total game changers.
And we're going to map out how to build the team you need so you don't get, completely wrecked by a bad contractor or a clueless lender.
Plus, and this is the really cool part, we're going to explore how this boring-sounding government program is actually a backdoor strategy for real estate investing.
It's about more than just a house. Our sources call it economic rehabilitation.
I love that phrase. But first, let's set the stage. Why is this so important right now?
Context is everything. I mean, we're in a market where there's just no inventory. Everyone is fighting over the exact same turnkey homes.
Well, does it look perfect on Instagram the day you walk in?
Exactly. And you pay a huge premium for that. The 203K lets you just completely opt out of that fight.
So instead of fighting for inventory, you're making it.
You're creating it, precisely. You're taking homes that nobody wants, bank foreclosures, houses that fail inspections, and you're bringing them back to life. You're building equity with a plan, not just, crossing your fingers and hoping the market goes up.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics.
Yeah.
Because as cool as that sounds, the 203K has a reputation for being a paperwork nightmare.
Oh, it is. And the source material doesn't shy away from that. In fact, it uses this really great analogy. It compares the whole process to a basketball game.
Right, the starting lineup.
Yeah, because it's a team sport. A normal home purchase, you've got a realtor, a lender, you're pretty much good to go. With a 203K, you need a full 5-person lineup. If even one of your players is weak, you lose the game.
Okay, let's run down the roster. Position 1, the point guard, your realtor.
The floor general. They have to be more than just a tour guide. They need to be an inventory scout. They have to walk into a house that smells awful and has a hole in the ceiling and say, this is the one, not let's get out of here.
And they have to know who the other players are. If your realtor doesn't know any good renovation lenders, the whole play just falls apart on the spot.
Exactly. They set the tempo. Next up, the shooting guard. The lender.
The scorer. The one with the money.
But here's the key, and the sources really hammer this home. You can't use a generalist. You can't just go to your normal big box bank.
Why not? I mean, a loan is a loan, right?
Not at all. The paperwork is like 10 times more complicated. A normal loan is about your income and the house as it is today. A 203K is about your income, contractor bids, draw schedules, and the future value of the home after it's fixed.
I see. So if your loan officer is learning as they go.
You're gonna miss your closing date. Guaranteed. You need a specialist.
Okay, so we have the scout and the bank. Now for the position that I think confuses most people, the small forward, the consultant.
The swing man.
Yeah.
This is the bridge. And honestly, this might be the most important player on the team. Normally, it's just you arguing with your contractor about why the tiles are crooked.
In there.
Right. In a 203K, the HUD consultant stands between you, the contractor, and the bank. They're a neutral third party.
So they work for the bank, but they also protect you.
Exactly. They do the initial inspection to create the official work write-up. But then, and this is the key part, they inspect the work as it's being done. The bank doesn't release any money to the contractor until the consultant signs off that the work is complete and up to code.
So they're kind of like the referee.
Perfect analogy. They make sure everyone plays by the rules. Then you've got your power forward, the contractor.
The muscle. the one doing the actual work.
Yes, but the playbook has a very specific warning here. It's about what they call financial capacity. Your contractor can't be living paycheck to paycheck.
Why does my contractor's bank account matter to me?
Because of the draw process we just mentioned, the contractor often has to buy the materials and pay for labor before they get reimbursed by the bank. If they don't have the cash flow to start the job, your project is dead in the water.
Got it. And last, the sender, the title company.
Yep, the protector of the paint, they're defending your ownership. With a distressed property, there's a much higher chance of, unpaid taxes, leave-ins from old contractors, all sorts of financial ghosts. The title company makes sure you aren't inheriting someone else's problems.
So that's the starting 5. But the source material also has this 5-point rating system for hiring them.
Right, because just having the job title isn't enough. You rate them from level 1, which is coolest, to level 5, a master. But the one you have to avoid at all costs is level 3.
The level 3 professional. This one really stuck with me.
It's so dangerous. A level 1 will admit they don't know and send you to an expert. A level 3 says, oh yeah, I started one of those once, but it didn't close.
They have just enough knowledge to be dangerous.
Exactly. They have the confidence to get you under contract, but not the competence to get you through the inevitable problems. And a 203K always has problems.
And one level 3 player can sink the whole team.
The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. You just can't have someone learning on your dime.
Okay, let's shift gears to the actual loan. There are 2 different types, and they both just got a massive overhaul for 2025.
Correct. HUD finally looked at, reality and updated their numbers. So you have the limited and the standard.
Let's start with the limited 203K. This used to be called the Streamline.
Right. Think of this one as the facelift loan. It's for non-structural stuff. Kitchens, bathrooms, paint, flooring, new windows, that kind of thing.
And the big news here is the dollar amount. For years, it was capped at $35,000.
Which, let's be honest, $35K, it doesn't even get you a nice kitchen anymore in most places. It was way too low.
So that's a new number.
They more than doubled it. The new cap for renovations on a limited 203K is $75,000.
Wow. Okay, that is a huge deal. That makes the loan so much more useful.
It's a completely different tool now. You can do a serious cosmetic overhaul with that kind of budget. And with the limited, that HUD consultant is optional. I'd still recommend one for a first-timer, but it's not required.
And then you have the big one, the standard 203K.
This is the heavy artillery. It's for any project over that $75K limit or, and this is the important part, anything structural.
So if you're moving a wall or adding a room,
You're in the standard program, no matter the cost. Even if it's a $10,000 foundation crack. And for this one, the consultant is mandatory.
because the risk is so much higher.
Exactly. The bank needs an expert's eyes on that kind of work. The other big update is the timeline. They extended the rehab period. It's now 12 months for a standard loan and 9 for a limited.
Which just feels more realistic with supply chain issues and finding good contractors.
It's a huge relief. It gives you some breathing room.
Okay, now for the part that I think scares people the most. The money. How does it actually flow? It's not like the bank just hands you a check for 75 grand, right?
No. God, no. That would be a catastrophe. All the renovation money goes into an escrow account, and it's released through what's called the draw process.
Break that down for us.
Okay, so let's say the first job is the roof. The contractor finishes the roof. They don't get paid yet. They call the consultant. The consultant comes out, inspects the work, signs a form saying, yes, the roof is done correctly. Then the bank releases the money for that specific job.
So the contractor has to do the work before they see the money.
For the most part, yes. On the limited, they can get up to 50% of their bid up front for materials, which helps a lot. But on a standard, it's pretty much all performance-based.
It sounds strict, but I guess it stops a contractor from taking your money and just disappearing.
It completely eliminates that risk. The bank has all the leverage.
Speaking of safeguards, there were a few others in the source material that seemed really important. The first one was the contingency reserve.
Yeah, this is your mandatory oh crap fund. You have to finance an extra 10 to 20% of the repair budget into the loan. Because when you open a wall in an old house, you will find something you weren't expecting.
Termites, old wiring, rot.
Always something.
What if you get lucky and you don't need it? You get to keep the cash.
No, you don't get to buy a jet ski with it. But it goes straight to paying down the principal of your loan, so you get instant equity. Or sometimes you can use it for wish list items like upgrading your countertops.
Okay, but this next feature is, I think, the real MVP. Mortgage payment relief.
Oh, it's the single best part of the whole program. If the house is unlivable during the renovation, like no kitchen, no working bathroom, you can finance up to 6 months of your mortgage payments right into the loan.
So you're not paying rent on your current place and a mortgage on a construction site at the same time.
Exactly. The bank pays your new mortgage for you out of the loan proceeds for up to 6 months. It solves the cash flow crunch that stops most people from even trying this.
That removes so much pressure. Wow.
It's a lifesaver.
Okay, so we've built the team, picked the loan, we have the safety nets. Let's pivot to the strategy. The source calls this the back door to real estate investing. But I thought investors were banned from this program.
They are, technically. Since 1996, the 203K has been for owner-occupants only. You have to sign a piece of paper saying you'll live there for at least 12 months.
But there's a loophole.
There is. It all comes down to how the FHA defines a house. To them, residential housing means any property with 1 to 4 units.
So I can buy a fourplex, live in one apartment, and use the 203K to renovate the entire building.
The entire building. You use the bank's money to fix up all 4 units. You live in one. You rent out the other 3. The rent from those tenants pays your mortgage. You are essentially living for free while building equity in a multi-million-dollar asset.
And you did it with what, a 3.5% down payment?
That's the power of it. It is the single best way for a new investor to get started, period. But there's a catch. There's always a catch.
Of course.
If you're buying a 3 or 4 unit property, you have to pass something called the self-sufficiency test.
Right, I saw the formula for this. Break it down.
It's a deal killer for a lot of properties. The FHA basically says, we're not going to fund a money-losing business. So they take the total potential rent from all the units,
Including the one you live in.
including yours. They take 75% of that total. They assume a 25% vacancy factor to be safe. That number, the net rental income, has to be greater than or equal to your total monthly mortgage payment.
So if your mortgage, taxes, and insurance are, say, $4,000 a month.
Then the total rent for all 4 units has to be at least $5,400 a month, because 75% of that is about $4,000. If the math doesn't work, the loan is denied. End of story.
So you have to do your rental market research before you even make an offer.
Absolutely. If it fails the test, you have to walk away or negotiate a lower price.
So let's play this out. You buy the fourplex, you survive the renovation, you live there for your 12 months. What happens next?
This is the stepladder strategy. On day 366, you've fulfilled your obligation. You can now refinance that property into a conventional non-FHA loan.
And because you've renovated it, the value is way up.
Way up. You've probably got a ton of equity, and you can get rid of the mortgage insurance. But the most important part is, once you refi out of that FHA loan,
Your FHA eligibility resets, you get another one.
you can do it all over again. You move out, keep that first building as a pure rental property, and you go find the next ugly duckling to live in for a year. You rinse and repeat, building a portfolio with very little of your own cash.
That completely flips the I can't afford a house narrative on its head.
It reframes the whole problem. The problem isn't always a lack of money. It's often a lack of vision or a lack of, the grit to manage a tough project.
So let's bring it all home. What's the one big takeaway for someone listening right now?
I think it's this. Stop looking for the perfect finished product. In this market where everyone is fighting over perfection, the real opportunity is in finding potential. The 203K is a tool to create your own equity. It's going to be hard, there's a lot of paperwork, it will test your patience. But the payoff is getting the house you actually want in the neighborhood you want with equity from day one.
Which leads us to our final thought for you to chew on. We live in this instant gratification world. We want the big HGTV reveal without any of the dust and the delays. But in a market this competitive, are you brave enough to see the value in something that's broken? And maybe more importantly, do you have the discipline to build and manage the team you need to fix it?
Because if you do, that ugly duckling isn't just some fairy tale. It could be your entire financial future.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you on the next one.